Good evening on TV 47 News tonight. The COVID-19 vaccines received last night will be distributed from tomorrow. This as governors from the Lake region want to be allowed to order for the doses for their counties.
We are appealing to the national government or Ministry of Health to listen to our cry. Kilio cha wananchi.
Also tonight, members of parliament are broke.
Please allow me to look at my records and give you the accurate description of like how much. And even if I claimed it today, I know the earliest it can be paid, maybe early next year.
MPs are yet to receive their salary. Their employer says there were technical hitches. And talks on Jubilee ODM merger elicit political hit.
NASA is a coalition. So the misconception that is there that we are engaging ODM alone is wrong.
Is this Raila's hidden card? Minimbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, the COVID-19 second dose administration exercise is set to resume tomorrow at 7 a.m. in the morning. This is after the country received close to 360,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine from Denmark Monday night. Our health reporter Zainab Mohammed begins our broadcast tonight.
After halting the exercise last week and the vaccination centers remaining deserted, there's a dim light at the end of the tunnel as the second dose administration exercise is set to resume 7 a.m. Wednesday morning. This is after the country received close to 360,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine from Denmark Monday night.
Started off with about 1.2 million doses, and so far we have already used up all the vaccines. We only have 5,000 vaccines remaining, and we are very sure that those are going to be used in the next coming days. So had we not received this donation today, we would basically be having no vaccines in the next few coming weeks.
The Ministry of Health says the arrival of the vaccines is expected to boost the ongoing second dose vaccination exercise. As of Monday, at least 192,000 people had received their second dose, with a total of 1,187,663 doses administered. Meanwhile, governors from the Lake region are pleading with the national government to allow counties to import their own COVID-19 vaccines in a bid to contain the spread of the virus in the region.
Again, we were allowed as counties to import vaccines, even working with our development partners. We are prepared to do so. We are appealing through this media to the national government or Ministry of Health to listen to our cry.
This comes days after frustrated Kenyans and medics protested on social media that despite getting messages on their phones to go for their second dose, hospitals across the country reported there being no vaccine supplies. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
Still on COVID-19, and governors from the Lake region economic bloc now want the health ministry to allow county governments to conduct rapid COVID-19 tests to limit the spread of the virus. As Musa Salah now reports, the governors have recommended the enforcement of further restrictions to contain the deadly Indian Delta variant.
Governors from the 13 COVID-19 hotspot counties have questioned the national government's capacity to conduct nationwide tests for COVID-19, raising concerns over the spread of the deadly Indian Delta variant, which according to health experts is fanning the third wave of the virus. In a consultative meeting to deliberate on the way forward in containing the virus in the region, the governors have recommended the restriction of movement in and out of the 13 counties, as well as limit interactions in social gatherings.
The most effective way of stemming the pandemic is to consider a circuit breaker in the form of lockdown in the Lake Region hotspot to control the spread, well worked out strategy to limit movement of persons, while at the same time appreciating the need to maintain economic activity.
Earlier last week, the government revised the COVID-19 restrictions in the COVID-19 hotspot zone, further discouraging movement in and out of the 13 counties. According to the Lake Region Economic Bloc, the number of infections in the region in the last 1 week increased from 1,589 cases to 2,171 cases, accounting for 16.1% of the total confirmed cases in the country. In the last 24 hours, 583 people tested positive for COVID-19, totaling the number of cases in the country to 179,876. The counties of Siaya, Kisumu and Kericho, which are among the 13 counties, recorded high numbers in the daily update by the Ministry of Health. 85 more people have recovered, totaling the number of recoveries to 123,050, as 24 others succumbed to the virus. Governors from Nyanza and some parts of Western now want the Mutahi Kagwe-led ministry to allow county governments to conduct rapid COVID-19 tests before being confirmed by KEMRI to contain the disease.
The capacity for our national government to test all the Kenyans on COVID-19, we must all agree that that capacity does not exist at the moment. So it is incumbent upon the Ministry of Health to allow rapid tests to be undertaken as a first step, because once the rapid test actually identifies that you have COVID, even before a confirmation is done through a substantive test, either through KEMRI, Kisumu or other areas, at least that particular person should start the initial treatment.
We are appealing to the national government or Ministry of Health to listen to our cry. Kilio cha wananchi who want to know their status so that we can intervene much more accurately as counties.
On Monday, Health Chief Administrative Secretary Dr. Mercy Mwangangi asked the 13 county governments to increase their hospital bed capacities and oxygen stocks ahead of the anticipated surge in COVID-19 cases in the region. Musa Salah, TV 47.
Now, members of parliament are yet to receive their May salary and other allowances, including mileage. However, the clerk of the National Assembly says there has been a technical hitch which has been resolved. Our parliamentary affairs reporter Elizabeth Mutuku tells us more.
Members of Parliament are yet to receive their May salaries. MPs have also disclosed that have not received their mileage allowances and other allowances.
Issue, this is not the first time where we've had delays in mileages and allowances. We've had this issue for the last 2 years, where members, when they apply for allowances or mileages, instead of taking 1 week, it takes 2 weeks. Now of late we've seen that it is almost taking 3 weeks or maybe even a month. So we've had, the government is trying to manage, because sometimes we get communication from the clerk of the National Assembly saying that they have discussed.
Members of Parliament have not received the mileage and other allowances, and some members, including myself, went on a trip for Parliament and was never paid until I came back, and it was paid a week after I came back. So, and a lot of the members of Parliament that are going on these trainings and trips abroad are actually going there without money. And they go there, they look like they don't know what they're doing, because they can't even pay for their hotels until they have to look for money from this other end for them to pay for those hotels, because they've not received their allowances. And that has been happening, I think, for the last 2 months, that members are going without. Currently, members who have made claims on mileage have not been paid, and other allowances, both sitting and the chamber allowances, have not been paid.
However, the employer, through the clerk of National Assembly, Michael Sialai, says there has been a technical hitch in releasing the funds from Treasury. Sialai, however, says the issue has been resolved. The MPs keen not to blame Parliament for the delay of their salaries, but attributing this to hardships brought by COVID-19, which might have led the government being broke and unable to cater for its basic needs.
We are suffering, my brother. As I stand here today, I have to declare, I've been fueling and servicing a government vehicle from my pocket because there's no money. It is that sad. And so as we talk here about the salaries of the MPs, me, I'm afraid I've not even gone to the bank to check anything. Today is what date? It is 22nd of June. And there is this outcry that, especially the workers that support us, we have support staff. Every MP has got some support staff. Majority of them, we have not been given money to pay them. And for several months. Now, this is also tricky.
MPs are now calling for fast tracking of their salaries and mileages which their aides depend on, with some forced not to travel to their respective constituencies for what they termed as lack of money.
So it's not been easy. It's like a cat and mouse game. And the Speaker communicated that there will be payments today, but up to this hour there hasn't been I haven't received mine, so there hasn't been any payment so far. We hope that probably tomorrow there'll be some payment.
Government and the Minister for Treasury should put all the effort to ensure that there is smooth operations, particularly in institutions like Parliament, Judiciary, Security. I think that is very key, so that we don't go slow in implementation or meeting the obligations that are expected from us by the public.
Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47 Nairobi.
Moving on, a section of Kenya National Union of Teachers, not leadership, has insisted that the union's national elections slated for Saturday will go on as planned, barely a day after NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion had announced last-minute changes to the polls. Led by NAT Chair Collins Oyu, the officials have scoffed at Sosion's announcement that pointed out that the elections would take place virtually, while calling on delegates to turn up at the Ruaraka voting center in their masses to elect in new leadership at the embattled Giant Teachers Union. David Muvoka has the details.
The chronic standoff within the limping Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT has taken a fresh twist, days to the June 26th national elections, with the fate of the polls now hanging by a thread. This is after a section of the union's leadership refuted any last-minute changes to the planned polls, barely a day after NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion had announced that the elections will be done virtually and not in person as anticipated. In a statement to NAT members and officials, Sossion insisted that the changes were in line with a recommendation from the Ministry of Health that had raised a red flag over the event turning into a COVID-19 super spreader.
National Treasurer.
In a quick rejoinder, the anti-Sossion faction within NAT has, however, accused Sossion of trying to shift goalposts to his favor, revealing that it has the green light from the Ministry of Health to continue with the highly divisive polls as planned.
And that is the PS herself did a letter cancelling the earlier letter that Sossion sat for a whole day waiting for. And this letter here, members of the Fourth Estate have actually allowed the elections on the 26th.
Anybody saying that we are not fully prepared, then we want to say that is a wide lie, and we want to say that is a person who has developed code fit.
According to the NAT officials, it is all systems go while daring the embattled Secretary General to bring it on in the polls that are a culmination of NAT branch elections that began in March.
And we are asking the Secretary General, Wilson Sossion, to take on elections as a game where one loses and the other one wins. Why does he fear the ballot?
With 3 days to go, at stake will be 11 seats in the National Steering Committee and 44 others in the National Executive Committee. David Mudhoka, TV47.
Thank you, David Mudoka, for that report. You're watching TV 47 News tonight. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongee zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali, tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Enda Jubilee nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444 utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
New Blue Band peanut butter. Made with 100% pure peanuts. And a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with New Blue Band peanut butter.
Hi, my name is DJ Protege, aka the life of the party. I've been in Stima Sacco for the last 7 or 8 years. It's a true definition of growing with your partner. Well, I've taken up the loan facility as well as the saving facility. So I have a monthly contribution and also bought shares in the Sacco. I started off slowly with small money, but now my savings have really grown, so it has really opened so many doors for me. As you can see, I bought equipment with it. It's helped me a lot in terms of paying for school fees. So the one thing I can tell people out there is that Stima Sacco, with them, it's true to what they say. Anyone else out there who's expecting to actually have their money work for them, to actually try out Stima Sacco.
We are Stima Sacco, a true reflection of you.
Today I'm going to show you how to make NutriPro porridge. Unlike other porridges, you don't need to boil the water first before you put in the flour. So to make 4 cups of NutriPro for my family, we are going to need 4 cups of cold water. Add 1 cup of NutriPro flour. Stir until the
Precast panels. We have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702
Welcome back to TV 47 News tonight. Thank you for choosing us. Let's get to more news. And more than 100,000 teachers from public primary schools in the country have received training in innovative ways of teaching mathematics and secured up to 70% in cost saving for purchase of textbooks, resulting in more than 60 million textbooks being distributed to primary and secondary schools. Earlier today, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha launched the country's statement of commitment to education financing and outlined the country's role as the co-host of the Global Partnership for Education 2021-2025.
For the better part of last year, learners, especially those from needy backgrounds, could not access education due to COVID-19.
One teacher I remember very clearly, and
a reality that the Global Partnership for Education seeks to change in its quest to ensure all learners across the globe access education. The campaign, Education for All, aims to raise $5 billion or more than 530 billion shillings that is expected to benefit 175 million girls and boys, as well as reach 140 million more students with professionally trained teachers.
We believe that this campaign will help us to come up with resources to address the widespread disruptions to learning that have been caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic necessitated the closure of schools for more than 6 months in Kenya. The aim was to protect our children, teachers, and their families from the threat of this virus.
Already the country is counting milestones it has been able to achieve because of the Global Partnership for Education.
Using this fund, the TSC has completed the development of the remote learning methodologies training manual and trained more than 95,000 teachers on the remote learning methodologies this month of June. We expect the teachers to have acquired the remote learning methodologies to share with their peers in the schools and respective regions.
Through financial support of GPE, the government has procured and distributed a total of 10.5 million textbooks, including those meant for special needs education, in the spirit of Leave No Child Behind. This well-organized central procurement of textbooks has led to a cost reduction on expenditure of books by up to 70%. The good practice under GPE has been adopted by the government, which has enabled us to distribute more than 60 million textbooks to public primary and secondary schools to date. Thanks to this arrangement, we now have achieved a ratio of 1-to-1 learner textbook ratio.
The fourth financing campaign for the GPE was launched on 12th October 2020 by President Uhuru Kenyatta and UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
He has been talking to heads of state across the world, writing to them. He sent letters to the G7 just before the G7 meeting 2 weeks ago, and there has been a response. So part of it is getting donors to put money into the basket. But the other part, which is even more important, is to get countries like ours, developing countries, to increase their funding for education.
In my primary and high school years, I picked up the foundational skills that have propelled me to a successful career in sports. Self-discipline.
Kenya's Eliud Kipchoge has also joined the campaign and will be using his platform to amplify the call to fund education.
Let us always remember, when you promote education, you are empowering the society. And
others who have endorsed the campaign are the 2019 Global Teacher Prize winner Peter Tabichi, Michelle Obama, Naomi Campbell, among others. Today, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha launched the country's statement of commitment to education financing and outlined the country's role as the co-host of the Global Partnership for Education from 2021 to 2025. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Thank you, our senior education affairs reporter Sharon Baranga. Let's get to some politics, and Jubilee Party has been instructed to include the entire NASA in its ongoing talks of a coalition. Jubilee Deputy Secretary Joshua Kuchuni says that the talks are still on despite a split within NASA. Paul Kirobi reports.
After a series of meetings between section of Jubilee leaders and their ODM counterparts, the two parties seems to be open for more talks towards a 2022 pre-coalition agreement. However, Jubilee Deputy Secretary General Joshua Kuchuni says the ruling party has been directed to work with NASA as a team and not singling out ODM.
President mentioned about NASA, and the way I understand, NASA is a coalition of around four or five political parties. So the misconception that is there that we are engaging ODM alone is wrong.
There has been a split within the NASA coalition with accusations and counter-accusations. Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka has already said he will not work with ODM's Raila Odinga, while ANC's Musalia Mudavadi accused Odinga of failing to honor the NASA agreement.
And even if we come with Jubilee, Jubilee is just outgoing. So why should they give us a presidential candidate again? Oh, honestly, answer me. That's a good question, but then let me put it in terms of a question again. We need change. Like me, I'm leading Migori County on the platform of transformational change.
President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party is said to be planning to sign a pre-election coalition deal with ODM. The handshake coalition has been termed as a plan to block Deputy President William Ruto from ascending to the House on the Hill next year.
Forming a coalition, those are not coalitions. Coalitions are serious vehicles. There must be lawyers and counsel. There must be preamble. There must be how to merge the manifesto and the aspiration of different parties.
Deputy President William Ruto has already hinted at vying on a UDA ticket. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, the government has launched a massive security operation in Logaman Forest and its environs within the expansive Mau complex in Njoro sub-county, Nakuru County, in a bid to smoke out cattle rustlers. 3 young men are said to have been ambushed and murdered in cold blood as they grouped to track stolen stock on Sunday. Lekishon Laban has the details.
The operation follows a series of fresh clashes reported in the area between 2 warring communities attributed to cattle theft, which has so far witnessed 3 lives lost in the area. Nakuru County Commissioner Erastus Mbui revealed that the forest, which is now out of funds for locals, had turned into a hideout for criminals.
Mutuachie kidogo because nimesema sisi area ni yetu. Kama hatusaidui kutoka the other side, wacha tulime mtu kidogo ndio akubali tuelewane. Lakini hiyo sasa iwe ni jukumu ya nani? Iwe ni jukumu ya nani? Wewe sitaki uingie kwa hii msitu ukisema ati serikali imekutupa.
Speaking during a peaceful meeting in Mauche, Mbui maintained that no one was allowed to operate within the forest, directing officers from the KFS to intensify patrols and smoke out any dwellers. Mbui also warned of dire consequences to anyone who would be caught inciting or fanning violence as the country heads to an election year.
Unless ni ile ya kwenda ICC, hiyo utakumbana na mwenye na accuse. Na naona kile kinaendelea hapa, huenda tunatafuta candidates wa kwenda huko. Inaanzanga hivi tu, kidogo kidogo tunajipiga kifua, mwisho unapata masaka hapa.
Speaking in the same function, Njoro MP Charity Kadhambi called for a peaceful coexistence among the communities, saying retaliatory attacks should be quelled before more lives are lost.
Ikiwa hatutawahi pata solution in Narok County, hapa itakuwa tunadanganyana miaka yote. Na ni mzuri pia wananchi tuwe tunaambiana ukweli, tujue shinda iko wapi. Na bwana commissioner, nikiwa nimesimama hivi, hakuna sababu yoyote inaweza fanya Mkenya yeyote aende kufanya kibarua kutafutia watoto wake topoti na ashambuliwe kwa shamba. Hiyo kabisa hatuwezi tukakubali hiyo.
On his part, Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui said it was unfortunate that people had to lose their lives through violence, calling on the arrest and subsequent arraignment of those found culpable to face murder charge in accordance with the law.
Hawa watoto watatu ambao wamekufa, that is a murder. Tunaelewana? Hatuwezi tukasema alikufa na mifugo, sijui ni Masai, sijui ni nani. Binadamu akitolewa uhai, kwa kisheria tunasema hiyo ni nini? Ama namna gani? Mnataka tuite nini ingine? Si ndio hiyo? Kwa hivyo kufunguliwe file na wale wote ambao wako na ushahidi, ama kama mnajua ni nani alifanya hiyo, mlete hiyo maneno hapa. Aekwe ndani ili tu deal nayo vile sheria inasema.
The Nakuru County boss urged law enforcers to ensure compliance to stop a state of lawlessness where goons will have a field day executing their criminal activities.
Mnajua tunaelekea mwaka wa uchaguzi. Tunaelewana? Kwa hivyo any instance ya insecurity lazima tuiangalie pia na macho ya upana.
Long-standing hostilities between various communities living in the region has been attributed to cases of cattle rustling rampant in the area. Last year, top security officials held a peace meeting at Witemere in Laikipia and warned residents to stop engaging in incitement. Lekishon Laban, TV47.
Thank you, Lekishon Laban, for that report. And from the country's latest county capital of Nakuru, you are watching the county's television. Time for us to take another short break. We still have a lot lined up for you. We'll be back after this break.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100% because it's something that is giving back.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I tell you the stories of these executed ideas, because yours could be next. Mondays, 7:30 p.m.
Hey, now that's hitting the right notes. When life gets boring, we bring out our play. You see, playfulness is in our DNA. It's in the way we move and laugh. It's in the way we walk, the way we rock, and how we just don't stop. You feel me? We add color to everything, to every day and every dish, because the world needs our crazy. We're the different flavors that make life more exciting. We're the ones who add color to every moment. Fanta, color every moment.
Well, the speaker is neither here nor there.
I should have done my outro from here.
Yes, no.
And just like that, I look beautiful.
Tune in to Morning Cafe, Mondays to Fridays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with me, Linda Alela, only on TV47, the home of Untold Stories.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongeze zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Usijali. Guti. Piga *444 hash utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
A show with a unique perspective as to the property industry right here in Kenya. Not only showing you the properties available, but also showing you how you can improve the ambience, look and feel of your living and working spaces.
Yes.
Wow.
Welcome back to TV47 News Tonight. Now, Machakos High Court has ordered for the commencement of investigations into a case where a remandee was reportedly tortured in custody of at the Machakos General Prison. Dominic Zangi, who suffered serious physical injuries, was found in possession of an illegal stuff after a search at the prison. Justice David Kimei observed that Machakos GK prison had satisfactorily adhered with the earlier directives to present Nzagi for treatment at Machakos Level 5 Hospital.
The applicant's complaint has also been attended to, since he has already been escorted to the police station Machakos, where he has reported his complaint via OB number 30/31/05 of 2021, and that a P3 form has also been issued. The police therefore have already issued the requisite documents. They are now expected to commence investigations. The applicant now wants an order of this court to summon his witnesses for the purposes of recording statement. I find that to be still a little bit premature, since the investigations are yet to commence. The issue of the investigation is still with the police, who also will contact the applicant together with the witnesses for recording of statements. The police are also entitled to visit the prison wherever he is and record statements, including those of his witnesses.
Now, the family of security consultant Mwenda Mbinjiwe, who went missing 11 days ago, now suspects foul play in the disappearance of their kin. In a meeting that lasted 6 hours between Mbinjiwe's mother, Jen Mbijiwe, and the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, at the DCI headquarters on Kiambu Road on Monday, Jen Mbijiwe expressed her worry regarding the slow pace of investigations. Elsewhere, a man who was driving a car along Thika superhighway was on Tuesday afternoon sprayed with bullets by unknown assailants at the Guakairu area in Juja sub-county. Confirming the incident, Juja sub-county police commander said they got reports from members of the public, and upon arriving at the scene found the car's occupant bleeding.
Wa saa 9 kamili hapo tulipata ripoti kutoka kwa wananchi weba kwa hii area ya kwa Cairo kwamba kuna mtu amepigwa risasi akiwa kwenye gari akiendesha maeneo ya kwa Cairo. Tuliweza kutuma askari wakafika hapo na wakapata kuna gari moja ya Subaru Forester ambaye ilikuwa na mtu ambaye ni mwanaume na alikuwa amepigwa risasi akiwa ameumia, lakini alikuwa bado ako hai, na kwa hivyo tulikimbiza yeye Thika, anaendelea kupokea matibabu. Hakuna habari kamili tumeipata kulingana na wale wameshuhudia, wamesema tu waliona kwamba walisikia mlio wa risasi, na wakati waliangalia wakaona kuna gari imeyumba kwa barabara ikaenda kando, na wakati wakaangalia kuna mtu ambaye amepigwa risasi. So tulituma ofisa wamchukua mkimbiza hospitali, kwa sasa anaendelea kupata matibabu hospitali ya Thika.
Tukasikia mlio wa risasi kwa highway. Kuangalia tukaona hiyo gari ilikuwa gari ya white, ilikuwa ina lose control. Sasa kukakaa tukakimbia hapo, tukapata gari imeanguka side ya left. Watu wakakuja wengi juu hata ile kitu tulikuwa tunashindwa ni kama ni risasi ama ni miguu imetoboka.
Let's get to some business news. And Konza Technopolis Development Authority has an early bird incentive for investors taking up land for development at Konza Technopolis. Take a look.
Fast and Furious.
Insightful. I think we now
local, and then.
And as government, we are proud of the progress made so far. Our idea is that we start by making sure that all the utilities are in place. So a lot of things are going underground whereby most of the people will not be able to see through what we are calling our horizontal infrastructure. Note that the Konza National Data Center is now ready to serve both the public and the private sector. All investors access to state-of-the-art data center facilities right here at the Technopolis.
I'm an architect and I'm a planner, and I'm familiar with the construction, very familiar with the construction operations. That we are very excited. We're very excited. Work is going in accordance with the specification and the speed is right. And these are the women of Makueni.
Well, from business, let's get to the world of sports. And as always, Dennis Otieno is with us. Dennis, good evening.
Good evening to you too, Abubakar. Now tonight, we will be telling you why AFC Leopards players are completely motivated to clinch the FKF Cup. We shall also be telling you how the men's national beach volleyball team performed in the Gotv Confederation Cup. Now, this and more coming up.